thank you all for joining us here, and those of you who will be listening to this afterwards. This is the first really formal discussion of AppFest 2016. I'm really looking forward to it. It's really going to be a lot of fun, and so that's what I want to tell you about now, and then of course answer any questions that you might have. We really see it as flexing your ARV skills, having a lot of fun, learning, and primarily learning from each other, because we're going to be a group of people who really have a passion about this, and then potentially making some money. Now, it's going to be the Veterans Day weekend. It starts on the Thursday before that, November 10th, going through Sunday, November 13th. And you can see the start times here. So we're starting in the afternoon of Thursday and ending the early afternoon on Sunday. It's going to be at our favorite place in Vegas, actually Henderson, the Green Valley Ranch and Resort. And why? Really for the fun of it. And for the learning, which is fun and all of that. Now, we're going to be doing 8 ARV predictions in that time period. We're going to permit independent or self-judging, where it'll be your choice. I'll be a judge, John Herlosky will be a judge, we'll have some other people who will be judges if you want to do independent judges, but more and more people are doing very well at ARV with self-judging, and in fact they prefer it. So here we are going to allow individuals to do either. We're doing 2 NFL, National Football League game predictions. Those will be over and under. There's a Thursday night game, and then Sunday morning, all day Sunday is when NFL is really big on different games, but we'll be doing an early morning one. As far as I'm concerned, our sport is the ARV. I don't really particularly care about the individual games, but some people do, and they're fun, and there'll be plenty of TVs around, as you know, in the sports book, so there'll be time to enjoy some of that as well. There will be 5 college football predictions. Now, this one on Friday, so Thursday night we'll be doing NFL. Friday we're going to have one game. It turns out, you know, we could do other sports, but it turns out there's one college game on Friday, and during that day we're going to make 3 predictions on it: an over-under, the favorite underdog, spread, and I could describe those. Well, let me describe it now. The over-under is just the sum of the total points. The bookmakers will make a prediction on that. The favorite under, they will give points to whichever one of the 2 teams are favorite. And what that does is, with the points basically given to the underdog, taken away from the favorite, there's now a score which is roughly 50-50. And most people like the 50-50 bets, which are like over-under. But then there's the odds, where there will be actual odds. The favorite team, you'll have to put up, you know, maybe $15 to win 10. And if we happen to predict the underdog, there are situations where you might only put up $7 to win 10, or 70 to win 100, etc., etc. So those are the 3 kind of wagering we're going to do on Friday, and that also opens up the possibility to do what are called parlays. If you should feel really confident about all 3, there is a parlay wager that you can do on all three, where if you wager $10, you might be able to make $30 or $40, depending on how all the odds go. So that's actually getting as close as we get to the lottery on a day like this. All three would have to win, but that makes the odds good. So you could do a parlay on any two. And again, that's a judgment you have to make with the wagering aspect of what we're going to be doing. And as always, wager wisely. Okay, then on Saturday, we'll have two predictions on two separate games. There are lots and lots of college football games on that day. We haven't chosen specific ones, partially because they don't announce the timing and the specific games for the horse racing, and that's going to be our 8th sports prediction, which will happen on Saturday as well. So we're doing 3 events on Saturday. And this horse race will be led by Shane, who is our horse race leader and expert. But here we're doing a simple ARV experimental modification to his operational handicapping protocol. So that's making everything a pure ARV. So this is a modification to what he usually does. Okay, and so that's 8 games. The Sunday was the next one, which I discussed up here. So in addition to the predictions, which is where we'll actually be spending most of our time, we will have these great speakers. We have Jeff Mishloff, who is going to be talking on William James. I don't know if you've all heard of him, but he goes back to like the 1800s.
Awesome.
Right, and the stream of consciousness. Now, he has, well, I think you all know Jeff, but anyway, he holds the only doctoral diploma in parapsychology, and we always say American University, but he actually believes it's the world. They've never given one with quite that title. They've done things related to it. And he's got his video webinar program where he interviews lots and lots of really interesting people. And then he runs this University of Philosophical Research. And that's where you are, John, right? You're through there.
That's right.
Okay. Here's the quote from William James, which I love. I tracked this down. In psychology, physiology, and medicine, wherever a debate between the mystics and the scientifics, I thought that was an interesting term, scientifics has been once for all decided, okay, between the mystics and the scientists. It is the mystics who have usually proved to be right about the facts, while the scientifics had the better of it in respect to the theories. So we're still experiencing that, though there aren't very many good theories, but more and more it's sort of clear that the mystics, those who are in the psi business, are just getting more and more facts behind their view of reality. And then we have Steve talking about human and object levitation. And he's been studying this really for a long time. He's got lots of books. I happen to know, and he's already committed to AP 2017, which is going to be in June. He'll actually before then be interviewing somebody, I think it's someone in Australia, who does levitation, and he's going to be actually studying that person, doing enough to hopefully prove it. But we'll see. But I think he'll be talking to us about the general subject and I think his plans. And then we have John Herlosky talking about the very relevant subject, of course, of how to be an ever-improving precogger. Now, John is one of the APPI professionals who has got a track record that's up right near 80%, and he is earning money for himself, and as a partner with APPI, he's helping funding APPI. That's how APPI is being funded. Hey, we'd love to have somebody donate money to us. We are a 501c3, but you know, we haven't really gone that route. What we're really looking for is to do partnership funding with professional precoggers who have demonstrated their capabilities. So he's actually going to be talking about how he's doing so well. And you can see here he's actually been co-director and co-founder of a nonprofit think tank, and you love the names, Institute for Evolutionary Technologies, and he was a co-director of Project Trojan Warrior, which is mind-body integration training program. So he's obviously been involved in this work for a very long time, and he's author of the book, A Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now, we're having a contest. This is brand new for app, and this contest is being sponsored by, and the prizes are being provided by APPI. That's an associated, that's the institute, a 501c3 institute, a foundation, and it just does what I just said. We are looking to partner with talented precoggers who can demonstrate, okay, that's where the statistics that we keep become so important, demonstrate a basically reliable, so that means long-term-ish, hit rate. So, you know, many of precoggers will get really, really good sessions. We see it, and that's, of course, wonderful. But now the question is, can they do that in a reproducible fashion so that their hit rate is up at, you know, 65, 75, hey, 80% is terrific, but we're quite happy with 65 or 70% when it's reliable. And okay, so in this contest, we're excluding APPI professionals for being in it. So John will not be one of the competitors. What we are looking for is to bring in new people into APPI. And so this is an opportunity for people to kind of show their stuff, and as you'll see, win up to $1,000. So the rules are, we're going to be doing these 8 official predictions. Now it's possible there'll be what's called a push. So but if for whatever reason, if there aren't 8, we'll use how many there are. And the paid participants to AppFest are the ones who are eligible, except for any APPI PCOG professionals. Now, here's the key measure that will be used. I didn't know quite a word for it, so I made up a word. It's called hit points, and it's the number of hits minus the number of misses. We didn't want to use hit rate, because what if one person got a hit on the first one and then passed on everything else? Because the idea is for passes or pushes, or just deciding not to play on this one, you decide to do something else, those are all ignored. So the measure we're using are the total hit points, which are the number of hits minus the number of misses. As simple as that, where everything else is ignored. An Excel sheet will be maintained. Each prediction will be put in there, and then the associated outcome will be maintained in there, of course, as well. So it'll be clear. So I will be doing that with Jane. Jane will be the one who will be maintaining the spreadsheet. Now, the rankings, of course, will be from the highest to lowest based on hit points after the last prediction has an outcome. So that'll determine the rankings. And the first place will earn 1,000, second place will earn 500, and third place will earn $250. So part of the profits that APPI has earned from its professional precoggers are being used in this fashion to find more professional precoggers and to add to the fun of AppFest. If there are ties for any of these, there will be a split. So as simple as that, there'll be an equal split. So that's part of the rules. And there will be writing checks at the end of the Sunday on November 13th. So the payments will be right there. The outcomes will be known, the records will be known, and so we plan on writing checks as the last part of AppFest on that Sunday. Okay, if there are any questions on this now, you might want to ask them, or later. Okay, let's now talk about the agenda. We're starting on Thursday, as I've indicated, at 3 o'clock, and we'll basically do a meet and greet. There may be some new people. In fact, I expect and hope there'll be some new people, so that'll be the meet and greet. And then very briefly, I will want to talk about this idea of beacon power. I'll let you know we will have Play-Doh around, so I'm letting you know that now. And then independent or self-judging. So we'll just simply be saying that, and then we'll get right into it I'm leaving an hour and a half for the remote viewing and the judging for the predictions, and the game starts at 5:25, so we'll be done at 5, and then we'll go downstairs and be able to place a wager on that first game. You know, there's no reason to come back upstairs. We'll just have dinner, enjoy ourselves. People want to do a little gambling during that time, they can. But we will be coming back upstairs into the Geneva suite. We have one of those nice suites which many of you have already seen. It's just very nice and comfy to do the feedback. As you all know, I just do everything I can to encourage all precoggers to pay a lot of attention to their feedback session. That's where precognition begins. That's where you know the truth. So we'll come up, do feedback sessions, and then have discussions and just enjoy each other's company. And that'll be Thursday. And then Friday, there are going to be the 3 predictions, as I indicated already, with 1 game. So that's going to be quite interesting. Now, here is something which is really new for an App Fest. I actually did this on during the workshop which I held in my home, and that was kind of, we called that an intense workshop because there were just 8 people, but we gave there what we called homework, and that worked, I think, out very well. The people enjoyed the fact that in their own environment they could do a morning session. Now you don't have to. The room will be open, but the transcripts will have to be in by 9 o'clock for judging. So we're leaving an hour for judging, but you can do the transcripts in the Geneva suite. You can do it up in your room. You want to go down to the pool, whatever. But the point is that the transcript will be due by 9 o'clock. So, you know, some people don't, they think noise bothers them, whatever their belief system is. This way there is no reason for not doing it in the way that you feel is best for you. So that'll be the morning session. Yeah, you can do it the night before if you want. The point is it needs to be turned in by 9 a.m. For judging, if you're an independent judge, if you're a well, for judging, right, you won't know what the options are. So it's got to be turned in by 9 a.m. And this is an over and under prediction. Then Jeff will be talking and questions and everything for an hour-and-a-half slot here. And then we've got the hour the RV session. We're leaving a half an hour for the RV session, and then people who want to do independent judging would always have to leave after their RV session. But here the timing works out that we'll all take lunch, a lunch break, and then come back and do the analysis judging for prediction number 3. And then we'll talk a little bit about parlays and wagering, and then the judging will be done. The RV and the judging will be done during this hour-and-a-half slot here. So here we've gotten 3, we've gotten 4, and we did 2 was the overnight. So all 3 predictions are available here. That game starts, I believe it's like a 5 o'clock game, but we'll do the wagering and everything here. Just because, no, the game must be, yeah, I think what happened here, I'm sorry, I don't have that. I usually on the sheet here, but I think the game here was like a 4:35, 4:40 game, so we needed to do the wagering here. Then we'll come back upstairs and listen to John, and then go out for dinner, and then have our feedback. So you can see the rhythm that we're setting up here. So that's Friday. A similar rhythm for Saturday, where we have the morning or overnight sessions for 2 college football games. These will be 2 different ones. Everything is, you know, the timing is set up to give plenty of time to do the remote viewing, to do the judging. These times are a little bit more vague because we don't know exactly when the horse race would be. I put a kind of a tentative time here, but once that works out, there are all kinds of games during the whole day, so it'll be easy to get our three predictions in, including the horse race. And we'd like to set up this timing so we could make the prediction and watch the horse race live, but Shane tells me that he can make a recording if the timing doesn't work out, so to see it live. Now, there's a slot left over here. I'm actually have 2 potential people in mind here, so I actually hope to have another speaker, but we will have a speaker of some sort during this slot. And then Sunday goes to 1 o'clock, and in the morning we have the Green Bay Packers and the Tennessee somebody or other. As you can tell, I'm not a big football fan. I'm a big ARV fan, but I think a lot of people, Green Bay is certainly a well-known team. And so we will be wagering now on only the first half. There are all kinds of wagers that you can do, but since we're ending at 1 o'clock, we will be wagering during the first half only. We'll have a speaker. It might very well be an app speaker, and then the first half should be over by 11:30. So we'll have the feedback, and this is the last game. So we will then know who in fact is the winner of the contest, and we'll announce all that, and hopefully you know, it'll be a lot of fun for everybody, even if you didn't win. And then we'll just keep kind of ongoing. The way I see this is there's just going to be a lot of discussions going on, learning from each other. And here is the costs. The details are on our website, and the registration is on our website. If you just go to our normal website, on the left there are announcements, and it's the first, it rotates around so you can't miss it. The charge for members are $345, and you know, it's $395 if you're a non-member, which of course our approach has always been to encourage you to become a member for $50, so then you're a member and get all the other benefits. And there is a website that has been set up by the hotel. Let's see if this works. I can just show it to you. Here it is. And that's on the registration page, and you can just make a reservation right here. It's very easy. So you can do a check-in date, and then you can do the checkout date, and that's the actual checkout date. And so it's all really rather easy. So the hotel set that up, which I think is kind of cool. On the other hand, if for some reason you don't want to do that, you in fact can call, and this is the code that will give you the special room rate, which is $110 plus taxes and fees, which is actually a very good rate for the quality of this hotel. But there are, you know, you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time in your room, and a lot of people like to go to nearby hotels, and we haven't quite put a list of that up, but we will do that. And that's it. Join us if you can. And any questions, comments? I hope that most of you here can make it.
Marty, are we gonna do? Are we gonna use we when we're doing the?
No, nope. We'll be putting. You know, I don't want to have to be dependent upon an internet link or anything like that. There will be the approach with envelopes with 2 pictures in it, and we'll have somebody there randomly choose the picture, so you know everybody is sort of clear that the only way to get the answer is to use their precognition. So, and these will be pre-selected probably by me or maybe somebody else that is not going to be doing predictions. So they will be, you know, the best target pairing that we know how to do, et cetera, et cetera. Other comments, questions?
Yeah, Marty. I've looked on the Applied Precog site, and I see a lot of the information's up there. Thank you very much.
Right.
It looks really, really good. Um, as far as the horse racing, you're absolutely right. The time's a little bit tentative, but the picture is starting to emerge now as far as what tracks will be open then and what candidates I'm thinking about going after. It's just a matter of picking the right race for the timing. But it looks like Del Mar will be open that weekend. It'll be opening week on Thursday, or opening day on Thursday. On the 10th.
Well, as soon as you can confirm all that, you and I then can finalize the horse race timing, and then I can add the college football games, and we'll announce that to everybody.
Yeah, with the with stakes races, I would like to do a stakes race, because the other times that we've tried it with APP, we've had to go with more common races. But I'd like to at least cue it to something a little bit easier to go after.
What did you call it? A stitch?
Stakes.
Stakes race. Yeah. Okay. Big dollar race. Right.
Yeah. Those races, the times aren't really announced until about maybe a week before, maybe a few days before on Equibase. That's at least where I'm getting my times. But the stakes races are usually the featured race of the day, and they happen towards the end of the day at that particular track. So we could find something back east, maybe something around the world, but I would like to work probably locally, because that time of day, it is later in the day for the track.
Okay, well, that's good. So I would say do it. Why don't you just make a decision based on what you think would be best for you?
Yeah,
and anytime, you know, like this, where the race goes off at 4 o'clock would be great. But as I said, we have quite a bit of flexibility. So I think the first decision ought to be a race that feels really good to you, and have it end roughly in this time frame. Okay?
Yes, certainly. The reason why I don't like to announce what exact race we're going after, I mean, that's front loading. Anybody could look up the entries.
Okay, let's not do that.
Yeah, the
Just
participants will be
you'll tell me. You can tell me.
Sure, yeah. The participants will just be given a coordinate to work. As far as I see below there's a speaker to be announced. There's 2 spots for a speaker.
Right.
Instead of giving a horse racing presentation like I've done already, I would offer to give a presentation based on developing your own application. From my own experience, how an application develops into a protocol. I could speak maybe, well, even less time than that. I mean, an hour and a half is a long time. But just keep it in mind, if you don't get anybody else, I'm offering the spot.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You were volunteering. Oh, I spelled his name wrong. I'll have to fix that. Okay. And okay, very good, Shane. So I think the way to proceed is to not announce anything. In fact, we won't announce anything but that it's going to be a horse race to everybody else. You, though, can tell me the timing so I can choose the college games.
Yeah, there'll be be 2 or 3 tracks that will probably be having a stakes race right around that time. So nobody's going to be able to.
But I just want you to make good. I just want you to make a decision.
Sure, I just don't want viewers to be able to. I'm not saying they will, but I don't want the opportunity for folks to look up the horses themselves on Equibase beforehand, just to keep blind naturally.
Okay, yeah. Very good, very good.
I appreciate that too, not knowing. In fact, I'd rather not even know what teams, like for the football games, I'd rather not even know what teams are going to be playing. But you know, that's okay.
That's awesome.
Well, but do remember, and it's easy to get over that one. Your intellect and your subconscious can get over that, because notice we don't know what the odds are. The odds makers have chosen what they think are the absolute best odds. So even though you think Green Bay is going to win the game, that's not the point. The point is, what are the, for the over-under. I guess for the game it is in a way the point, but because you might say, okay, I know Green Bay is going to win, but you do not know which of the targets are going to be associated with Green Bay winning even in that case. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying, John?
I do, yeah, sort of. I just
Well,
concerned.
the 50-50 cases, if you have a feeling it's going to be a high-scoring game, hey, the odds makers have done that as well. So there you've got nothing by having a knowledge of the game. In the case where you know Green Bay and you're a Green Bay fan and you want them to win, you still don't know when you're doing your precognition which picture is going to be associated with Green Bay winning. So you just describe and sketch your photo site, your target photo site as always. Okay, I see Nancy asked a question. Oh, and it looks like she's left. We have now active 4 professional precoggers. So that's the answer to her question. Oh, and Nancy also wrote that he did an interview with her, a 4-parter. Okay, that's cool. I'm just looking at the chat box now. Yeah, I think we're going to be surprised, Julie, how many people do want to do self-judging. It turns out half of our 2 of the 4 professional precoggers actually do self-judging, and 2 want to be independently judged. So, and that may be the way it'll turn out at AppFest, half and half. I don't know.
I do too. I really like self-judging, and especially after that last talk, it wasn't specifically John Nerlowski, but he was the last person to talk during that one webinar, and he was talking about going back, after you judge, go back over it again. And I've caught a lot of interesting stuff doing judging a second time. So yeah, I really like self-judging personally.
Yeah, I frankly encourage it because I think it's anything anybody can learn. You might not like it at the beginning for one reason or another, but then you learn to do it, and then it broadens you, it expands you, and you learn new things, just like you said, which just makes you both a better viewer and sort of a deeper precog person, because you've kind of mastered getting over something which might have bothered you before. Okay, any other questions, comments?
How many attendees do we have so far?
That's good, Julie. I'm sorry, what was that?
How many attendees do we have so far? Are we booked?
I'm not sure. We have at least 4, and I haven't checked, so I don't know how many more. If there's only 4, it's going to be easy to win the contest, but I think
I'll be in it. Yeah, one more question. Is AppFest going to be in a webinar? Is it going to be online live?
No.
Okay.
No, we won't add that that complication.
Thank you.
Right. No, Shane. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just, do your precogging thing.
Sure.
Okay. Other questions, comments? Is there more? And when you take a look at the website, if you see anything up there that you think we should clarify, it's pretty much the information you've seen here. But please let me know. We want to make it as clear as possible. Okay, so we'll just end it here then. Thank you, and I hope to see you at AppFest, and if not, that's fine too. Just keep precogging and just keep kind of enjoying the journey that we're on. It's certainly been fun for me, and I hope you're enjoying it as well. Okay, take care all of you now. Keep
Bye, guys.
precogging.